This webinar provides an introduction to the EnerGuide rating system standard. The standard is a new addition to the EnerGuide rating system and has been developed in response to requests from external stakeholders for a document outlining the technical aspects of the system. While the standard itself is new, a significant portion of its content is similar to that of current programs. This webinar will highlight revisions and new content that applies to the EnerGuide rating system. Note that this orientation does not replace a full review and study of the standard for purposes of exam preparation. Rather, it is a high-level overview that aims to familiarize members of the existing network with the standard, as well as to highlight some of the key changes from the current system. There are 4 EnerGuide rating system exams used to assess exam candidates' skills, knowledge, and abilities for specific roles in the delivery of the rating system. 3 of the exams are based specifically on the content found in the EnerGuide rating system standard and accompanying procedural documents. These 3 exams are the Energy Advisor exam, Service Organization Manager exam, and Quality Assurance Specialist exam. The 4th exam is a foundation level exam, which is an additional qualification requirement for energy advisors and quality assurance specialists under the EnerGuide rating system version 15. The foundation level exam is not based on content from any specific document published by Natural Resources Canada. Instead, this exam draws from industry best practice and a wide range of sources. To learn about test center locations and to register for the exams, please visit this webpage. For each of the 4 exams, there is a separate document called an Examination Competency Profile, which lists the specific learning objectives that are tested on that exam. To assist exam candidates, the learning objectives for the Energy Advisor exam, Service Organization Manager exam, and Quality Assurance Specialist exam are linked to specific sections in the EnerGuide rating system standard and accompanying procedural documents. The Examination Competency Profile for the Foundation Level exam contains only the specific learning objectives. Candidates are responsible for ensuring that they have the required knowledge to pass this exam, which may be acquired through self-study and building science courses. Exam candidates should thoroughly review the relevant competency profile prior to taking an exam to assess whether they have the necessary skills, knowledge, and abilities to pass the exam. For complete information on the EnerGuide rating system version 15 qualification exams and to access the competency profiles for each of the exams, please visit www.NRCan.gc.ca/homes. Here's an example of how this webinar may be used for exam preparation. In the Energy Advisor exam competency profile, learning objective 1.1.4 is to describe how the EnerGuide rating system version 15 differs from the previous EnerGuide rating system. The second column shows that this learning objective applies to the Energy Advisor exam and Service Organization Manager exam. Column 3 shows which document addresses this objective, and column 4 provides the location in the document where this information may be found. In this webinar, when discussing the preface, the audience will be directed to the bulleted list of key changes to the rating system. This standard is a new addition to the EnerGuide rating system series of reference documents. It serves as the overarching technical document for the rating system. The procedural documents address how to administer or deliver the system. The standard defines it. The increased application of the rating system for use in programs and legislation necessitated a document that clearly defines the technical aspects of the system. The standard will be updated periodically using an open and transparent process. The preface provides a bulleted list of the key changes to the rating system: the new scale, the expanded scope of what is included in the rating, the new standard operating conditions, the minimization of built-in policy adjustments, and the creation of the basic service and additional services. All of these changes will be elaborated on in this webinar. This summary table will be used to track each version of the standard and to highlight the changes made since the previous version. It is vital that the most recent version of this or any other EnerGuide rating system document be used as available on our website. This standard was developed using an open and transparent consultative process. A policy advisory committee, 3 subcommittees, and 3 working groups provided invaluable input to this process. The more than 50 industry participants are listed on the following 7 pages. The introduction sets out the objectives of the rating system and the drivers behind the updates that have been made. While promoting energy efficiency in the residential sector, the EnerGuide rating system helps Canadian homeowners, industry, and stakeholders to become energy literate regarding homes and decisions related to them. It provides specific, readily accessible energy performance information that may be used to support decision-making in designing, constructing, purchasing, renovating, and operating a home. All aspects of the system were reviewed with a view to making them more robust, efficient, and effective. This is reflected in new aspects of the administrative, technical, and quality assurance procedures. The standard indicates some additional data collection requirements intended to improve the accuracy of the rating and some additional outputs that will make the rating more meaningful to homeowners and flexible for program partners. The scope referred to in Section 1.1 is the scope of the standard itself, not the scope of the rating system. This document specifies the technical requirements for rating a house using the system. The standard sets the basic parameters, and the requirements are then elaborated on in the EnerGuide rating system technical procedures and the EnerGuide rating system HOT 2000 user guide. Described in Section 1.2.1, eligible housing types, the general application of the rating system has not changed. It rates buildings that are less than 600 meters squared or 6,458 square feet in building area and includes single-family homes, semi-detached homes, row houses, multi-unit residential buildings, and mixed-use buildings that are comprised of more than 50% residential use. This version of the standard does not include the details for rating multi-unit residential buildings. This will be included in subsequent versions. The limit of the system to buildings not greater than 3 stories in building height remains. However, there are now 3 methods for determining building height. The third option, as seen in C, allows a combination of 4 full or partial stories above the lowest point of finished ground. As stated in Section 1.2.1.2, there is a change in the application to buildings of mixed-use occupancy. The floor area of the non-residential occupancy may not exceed the floor area of the residential occupancy and cannot be greater than 300 meters squared or 3,229 square feet. This is to align with the National Building Code and to recognize that the EnerGuide rating system is designed to rate residential buildings. Additionally, the standard operating conditions apply to residential use and will not give an accurate indication of energy behavior for non-residential occupancies. Under State of Home Requirements, Section 1.3.3 states that exterior finishes do not need to be in place for a house to be eligible, as long as the air barrier is not compromised. Section 1.4.1 discusses change management. The formalization of a change management process to handle revisions to the rating system, and therefore to the standard, is new. The process is based on the one that has already been implemented for the Energy Star for New Homes standard, and involves formal submission of change requests that are analyzed and reviewed by a standing committee. Notice in Section 1.4.1.2, New Technologies, that there is also a process in place for introducing new technologies into the rating system. As already mentioned, the requirements of the standard are elaborated on in other documents as listed in Section 2.1, those being the Quality Assurance Procedures, Administrative Procedures, Technical Procedures, and the HOT 2000 User Guide. Documents published by other organizations are listed in Section 2.2. In all cases, it is important to ensure that the appropriate versions of reference documents are being used. Section 3 contains definitions. These definitions apply throughout the standard and can be identified in the text by italics. Many terms will be familiar to those in the existing network. Following are some of the new terms. For example, atypical energy loads are on-site elements such as swimming pools and hot tubs that, when present, contribute to energy use in a home, but this energy use is not included in the rating. The presence of an atypical load will be noted on the label and listed on the homeowner information sheet. What is a gigajoule? The EnerGuide rating is expressed in gigajoules per year. This definition demonstrates how gigajoules compare to common types of energy. Definitions and conversion factors are also provided in homeowner materials and online to help homeowners better understand the rating. The heated floor area of the home will be displayed on the homeowner information sheet and will be used in the rated energy intensity calculation. Details of its calculation are provided in the technical procedures. The rated energy intensity metric is expressed in gigajoules per meter squared per year and is displayed on the label. Details of its calculation are provided in section 5.2 of the standard. Section 4 is description of the EnerGuide rating system. The metric used to generate the rating and the rating scale are perhaps the most visible revisions to the rating system. The rating is now expressed in gigajoules per year, and the scale ranges from 0, representing a house that produces as much energy as it uses, to as high as is required for the house being rated. While the rating will not go below 0 gigajoules per year, a 0-star rating will be given to houses that produce more energy than they use on an annual basis. In the definition section, the new term atypical energy load was highlighted. Additional details are provided here in section 4.2.1. Seen in Table 1, there are 7 types of atypical loads recognized by the rating system. 6 of these meet the criteria of being on-site, residential in nature, generally available for visual inspection, and having a typical annual energy consumption greater than 5 gigajoules. As described in Appendix C, Natural Resources Canada contracted a study to quantify these loads. The remaining atypical energy load is non-residential occupancy, as seen here highlighted in blue, has no annual consumption range provided, as this is too variable depending on the type of occupancy. Non-residential occupancy is used to identify mixed-use buildings and to help communicate the message that the rating may not be an accurate reflection of typical energy use in the building. Section 4.3, EnerGuide Rating System Services, introduces the services. The EnerGuide rating system now consists of a basic service and a series of additional services. The additional services are the Renovation Upgrade Service, Construction Upgrade Service for new homes, and Construction Blower Door Service. These services are all currently provided, but what is new is that they are formally defined as distinct elements of the system. Jurisdictions or partners designing programs can select which services are required. Section 4.3.1 provides a brief description of the basic service. The basic service is the foundation of the system. The homeowner outputs for the basic service are an EnerGuide rating, label, and homeowner information sheet. The additional services address a broader range of needs. Partners using the EnerGuide rating system to deliver programs may bundle any of these additional services with the basic service. The technical procedures and associated webinar expand on these services. Section 4.3.3, Online Services, states that there is also increased emphasis on the online services supporting the rating system. Homeowner materials direct the reader to seek additional information from several web locations. For example, Keeping the Heat In has been posted on the web in a format that is easy to navigate. Section 4.4, Data Collection Requirements, provides a broad overview of the data collection requirements for the updated EnerGuide rating system. Some differences are the collection of the heated floor area, assessing space cooling room units as atypical energy loads, and that ventilation equipment is classified as whole house or supplemental. For detailed data collection requirements, see the technical procedures. Section 4.4.4.4, Renewable Energy Systems, lists the renewable energy systems to be assessed. While the inclusion of renewables is not new, the system is now clearer on how renewables are considered and limits eligible systems to on-site solar water heating, solar photovoltaics, and wind energy. Section 4.5, Warnings, includes the 3 warnings that can be triggered in HOT 2000. Once triggered, these warnings will automatically appear on the homeowner information sheet and renovation upgrade report. The vermiculite insulation warning will appear if the presence of vermiculite is modeled in HOT 2000. The exhaust device's depressurization warning will appear if the exhaust device's test result shows a depressurization of 5 pascals or more. The insufficient ventilation warning calculation is more complicated and is explained in section 4.5.3. This warning will appear if the average total combined natural and mechanical ventilation during the critical month is less than the ventilation warning criteria. There are 2 options for establishing this criteria, which allows the warning to be re-evaluated against criteria that may be more suitable for some housing types. Note that this calculation is performed by the software. Section 4.6 discusses 2 types of operating conditions, standard and household. The use of standard operating conditions has not changed, although the values used by the system have been updated to align with current norms. For example, regarding occupancy, Statistics Canada data indicates there is now an average of 3 people living in a home. In response to this, the family of 2 adults and 2 children has been reduced to 2 adults and 1 child. Table 2 lists the revised temperature set points. These have been updated to reflect the prevalent use of setback thermostats and the inclusion of air conditioning in the calculation of the rating. Hot water loads have been reduced to reflect the lower number of occupants and recalibrated as defined in section 4.6.2.3. As shown in tables 3 and 4, electrical base loads have been adjusted to reflect more efficient lighting and appliances, as well as an increase in plug loads due to more electronics in the home. Section 4.6.2.5 introduces a new feature of the EnerGuide rating system, reduced operating conditions. Reduced operating conditions are modified standard operating conditions that may be applied to a house file if the house reaches a rating of 0 with the reductions applied. A home that achieves a 0 rating is referred to as a 0-rated home. Eligibility criteria and allowable reductions are outlined here. As per Table 5, 0-rated homes can qualify for specific hot water load reductions if they have low-flow shower heads, low-flow faucets, an ENERGY STAR clothes washer, or an ENERGY STAR dishwasher. On the electrical side, 0-rated homes can also qualify for specific reductions based on interior lighting and actual appliance ratings. Another new operating condition feature is consideration of household operating conditions. Household operating conditions are used to estimate annual household energy use and are used to generate a number which is like the rating, but customized to the homeowner's habits and lifestyle. This is intended to provide a closer estimation of how much energy the household actually uses on an annual basis. Note that the actual EnerGuide rating is still based on standard operating conditions. When a homeowner receives the renovation upgrade service, they may choose to participate by completing a brief questionnaire containing 8 questions. Results of the household operating conditions are shared in the renovation upgrade report. The household operating condition responses are used to make adjustments to the number of occupants, hot water load, temperature set points, and electrical base loads when these differ from the standard operating conditions. Section 5 contains the rating system calculations. The headline output of the rating system is the EnerGuide rating. It is calculated by subtracting eligible renewable energy contributions from the rated annual energy consumption. Renewable energy contributions are capped as far as the rating is concerned. Houses that produce more energy than they use on an annual basis will receive a 0-star rating. The rated annual energy consumption now includes space cooling energy if the house is equipped with a central or mini-split air conditioner. Portable and window units are not included and are considered atypical energy loads. Section 5.1.1.2 further discusses space cooling energy consumption. A new feature in the domestic hot water calculation, as can be seen in Equation 6, is that drain water heat recovery units are now modeled rather than treated as an energy credit. Note too that contributions from solar hot water systems are subtracted from the total energy demand before the equipment efficiency is factored in and then added back to the estimated annual requirements. This allows the renewable contribution to be subtracted from the rated annual energy consumption and to be clearly displayed on the label. Section 5.2, Rated Energy Intensity, is a new metric that is expressed in gigajoules per meter squared of heated floor area per year. A key element of this metric is the heated floor area calculation. For more information on heated floor area, see the technical procedures. Section 5.3 discusses a reference house. The reference house, or a typical new house, as it is called on the label, is automatically generated by the software. It is important to understand what it represents in order to be able to explain it to homeowners and builders. It indicates how the evaluated house would rate if built to National Building Code energy requirements. Because certain assumptions have been made and because codes include many other factors in energy, the reference house cannot be used as an indicator of code compliance. In Section 5.4, Design Heating and Cooling Loads, note that these loads will be displayed on the homeowner information sheet, but are only to be used as a general guide. Section 5.5 provides the equation used to calculate rated greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions are now calculated using provincial and territorial emission factors, taking into consideration emissions that are offset by the production of on-site renewable energy. These are broken down into direct emissions generated by the on-site combustion of natural gas, heating oil, wood, or propane, and indirect emissions which are associated with the production of electricity at power plants. Emission factors are taken from Environment Canada's National Inventory Report and are updated periodically. Section 6, Additional Services, focuses on the technical aspects associated with the outputs of the Renovation Upgrade Service and Construction Upgrade Service for new homes. Section 6.1.2, Development of Upgrade Recommendations, states that the system promotes the use of household operating conditions as a basis for the development of upgrade recommendations. This approach ensures the report will provide the most appropriate recommendations for the family living in the home. Section 6.2 provides suggested rating comparators that could be shared with the builder when providing the construction upgrade service for new homes. Refer to the technical procedures for details on how to provide the additional services. Appendix A, Assumed House Parameters, is a work in progress and is intended to provide the user with an understanding of the default values that are used by the system. Additional details will be added in subsequent versions. Notice in Appendix A3, Ventilation, that the ventilation assumptions made by the system have been significantly modified. For example, if there is no ventilation in the house, no ventilation is modeled. If there are supplemental fans or a whole house ventilation system, they are modeled as is, or if performance details are not available, default values are used. Operating schedules are fixed in the software, similar to standard operating conditions. Appendix B, Change Management, elaborates on the new change management procedure. Section B3 contains the change request form that is to be used for submitting a change request. Appendix C, Atypical Energy Loads, provides the assumptions behind the energy use ranges that are displayed on the homeowner information sheet. This concludes the EnerGuide Rating System Standard webinar.